Hello YouTube, I've been gone for some time now, but that does not mean that the channel is dead. Of course I will continue uploading videos as usual. I'm just having a very busy month right now. As I explained in the update video from yesterday that I will leave on for some more time. I said that I would delete it, but I will probably leave it on for some more time because in there I asked for a video and I don't know, this is not the final product of that video, so I will leave it on. I don't know if I make sense, it doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you all so much for the feedback on that video. You were all really positive and helpful, and I'm really thankful for that. So I decided to just go on with a video without hesitating much, or it's all, I don't make sense. Never mind. Anyway, let's kick off with the video. So today I wish to talk to you a bit about a duel between Torygg and Ulfric that sparked the Civil War. It will probably be a short video and I will leave almost everything unscripted to make it a real discussion, as I do have some talking points ready, so I will get some structure in it and I won't be distracted too much like usual. But I think that this way it will be more of a discussion and will be less biased, since my scripts always have been biased and always will be biased, and I found that while I'm discussing things just from the top of my head without any prepped script, I'm always less favorable for one side or another. And I think that people like that more, since there are a lot of Stormcloak fans in my subscription and a lot of Imperial fans. So let's just start the discussion, and I first want to talk a little bit about the Nordic tradition and how one becomes High King, because usually High King, the High King you become due to succession. I mean, when you die as High King, your son becomes High King. That's how it's always been. But if there is no successor, then the moot, so the big moot of all the Jarls in Skyrim, will choose the new High King of Skyrim. But that is if there is no successor. Now, I will not talk about the legitimacy of Torygg and about how he came to power. That's all being covered in my Elisif video, I believe. And or otherwise in another video. I will link it to you if you want, if you ask me in the comments. But Torygg was had come to power due to succession and to the mood. He had both. So that's the two ways you become High King. However, there is a third way, and the way that Ulfric used to utilize his claim. You can duel the current High King, and when you win, you become the High King. And it's not something that the current High King can just decline. It's really, you have to accept it. Otherwise, as High King, you will not go to Sovngarde. More on that later. So, as High King, you have to accept that, and Ulfric challenged Torygg to a duel. So far everything's legal, and Ulfric has all the right to claim the throne. And well, if he defeats Torygg in a duel, his ways are totally ethical, because those are the rules. So as long as you follow the rules, it's fine, by me at least. So the controversy comes when you look at the duel itself. The duel itself was, well, pretty one-sided. Basically, Ulfric used the power of the voice to sort of shout Torygg into a submission. And that's the point where people start diverting their opinions on whether Ulfric or Torygg is right in this. Because, well, how does the voice fit in Nordic duel traditions? That's something that isn't really that much explored in the games. Because in my opinion, and in I think also Nordic opinion, however, we can't be sure because it's never mentioned in the games, all skills honed over the years that are in appliance with Nordic combat traditions are allowed in the duel. That's the thing, I think, at least. So the voice truly is something that's Nordic. I mean, Imperials can master it, Bretons can master it, basically everyone can master it. That's Skyrim's a big point of Skyrim when you become an Argonian or whatever. But I personally think that, and when look at history, you only see Nords basically using it, and it's really ingrained in ancient Nordic culture. So in that part, I think that using the voice during the duel is allowed. So I think that we can fairly say that while Ulfric might be quite overpowered with the voice, I don't think he's on the wrong while using the voice. But, you know, it's a skill honed over the years, so it's not something that you just have as an advantage. I mean, I think that it would be unethical if the Dragonborn used it, because the Dragonborn, for him, it's an inborn ability. But Ulfric had to learn it, had to study it, had to practice years and years and years and years to use it. So I think that on his part, I think he's allowed to use it. That's just my opinion, of course. But here comes my big but. He did violate the Greybeard rules, because the Greybeard say you can't use it for combat or political advantage, and that's the context where he learned it in. I mean, Ulfric was an apprentice of the Greybeards. He was not someone who just practiced by his own. No, he learned the voice from the Greybeards. So in that point, his efficacy starts declining a bit, but still, I think he's in his right to use it. But there's another point that just keeps, I don't know, biting at my mind. I don't know what the English thingy is. Ulfric was basically a war hero. Everyone respected him, including Torygg. Torygg respected him. When we asked the court mage of Solitude, she says that Torygg respected Ulfric so much that if Ulfric had asked Torygg to side with him in a battle against the Empire, Torygg would have done it. Torygg would have just said to the Empire, well, we will leave you. And that's the point where Ulfric, in my opinion, starts to lose his efficacy, because Torygg knew that if he had to battle Torygg, he would lose anyway, whether Ulfric would use the voice or not, because Ulfric was for all terms and purposes the superior fighter, also in sword fight point. So in this, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, Torygg already respected Ulfric. Ulfric didn't have to duel him, because if Ulfric wanted to leave the Empire, he could have done so with Torygg as his High King, because Torygg would have left the Empire if Ulfric said so. The game tells us. But Ulfric still wants to duel him. Alright, fine. You want to duel him? Fine. You know you'll be the winner anyway, even without the voice. But then he did use the voice, so that would be a little bit like bringing a gun to a sword fight, while you're already a trained sword fighter versus a child. I mean, it's a very bad metaphor, but you get my meaning. It's douchebaggy, but it's not technically illegal, because Nord's dueling etiquette is not known. I mean, you can also say, well, a hidden knife is dishonorable if you bring like a knife in your sleeve. But everybody already knows, including Torygg, that he had the voice and could use it. So in that it's not really hidden or something. But I still think that if what the game tells us is true, that Ulfric would have won even without using the voice, I think it's kind of douchebaggy for him to use the voice, because, I don't know, there he really starts to lose his efficacy, in my opinion. And another big point is, again, Torygg would have listened to Ulfric if Ulfric had asked him to leave the Empire. I mean, once Ulfric had challenged him to a duel, there was no other choice for Torygg than to accept. Otherwise he wouldn't go to Sovngarde, he wouldn't go to Nordic Heaven. I mean, when you speak him in Sovngarde, Torygg truly says, "When Ulfric Stormcloak with savage shout sent me here, my sole regret was fair Elisif, left forlorn and weeping. But I faced him fearlessly, my fate inescapable, yet my honor unstained. Ulfric, can you say the same?" And I think that's just really changes my opinion on the entire situation, since it really shows that Torygg knew he was to lose. We don't know if he knew that Ulfric would use the voice, but he knew that he would lose either way. But he still faced him out of his honor. And I don't know, it's really, in the end, it comes down to, it's a really douchebaggy to say so, but victor's justice. I mean, if Ulfric in the end wins the civil war, his victory gets legitimized, and if he doesn't win, his victory gets completely delegitimized. It's the same as with, let's say that the Americans and the Soviets hadn't defeated Hitler, and Hitler was now still, no, not Hitler would be dead, but the Nazis would still be ruling Europe. I wouldn't be here, of course, but if that was the case, then the history books in Europe would say that Hitler was a hero. Meanwhile, now they say he is what he is, just a psychopath. So I think that's just a little bit of victor's justice in the end. And while his methods were not strictly illegal, I still think they were kind of douchebaggy, because I don't know. It's really like bringing a gun to a sword fight that you already know you would win if you would just use a sword. So in that aspect, I think it's not really ethical for him to use the voice. But hey, it's just my opinion. You can disagree with me, that's usually what you guys do. So put in the comments whatever you think is your opinion on it, because it's a really complicated issue, because it really, yeah, your point of view, everyone's point of view in it is different. So put in the comments what you think. And also tell me what you think of these kind of discussing videos, because I really like them, because I can really show my opinion and the other side to that opinion, while also not having to work really much on a video, because as I already explained, I have a very busy month. So this kind of videos, if you guys like them, I will not do them often. I will still do my scripted videos. I will do these only when I'm really busy. But I really like them, as I can just voice my opinion on it and can do a longer video. So give me your opinions. And yeah, put in the comments what you think. Give the video a like if you liked it, or dislike if you didn't like it. I'm fine with that. I mean, that's what the system is for. Subscribe if you want to see more lore videos. My Discord for contact with me is in the description, as is my Instagram, on which I sometimes post memes. It's not really that active, but it's fun. And yeah, I hope you liked it. It's really an experimental video, so put in the comments what you think. Bye bye.